Your Jeep dealership just quoted you $2,400 for a 60,000-mile service. The service advisor says it's critical manufacturer recommended maintenance. But here's what they won't tell you. $1,800 of that quote is labor for services you can do yourself in your driveway with basic tools and 2 Saturday afternoons. I've been wrenching on Wranglers, Cherokees, and Gladiators for 12 years, and I've seen the same pattern repeat hundreds of times. Jeep owners get hit with massive service bills because they don't know what actually needs to be done and when. So today, I'm giving you the complete mileage-based maintenance schedule that dealerships use. But I'm also showing you exactly which services you can skip, which ones you must do, and how to do the important ones yourself for 70% less. By the end of this video, you'll have a maintenance roadmap that will keep your Jeep running for 200,000 plus miles, while saving you thousands in unnecessary dealership visits. And stick around because I'm sharing the one fluid that Jeep says to change at 150,000 miles, but that I've seen destroy transmissions at 90,000 when ignored. Let's break it down by mileage. Every 5,000 miles. The foundation. This is your basic service interval, and it's non-negotiable if you want your Jeep to last. Oil and filter change. For 2018 and newer Wranglers, Gladiators, and Grand Cherokees with the 3.6-liter Pentastar 5.6, use 0W20 full synthetic. For older 3.6-liter models, 2012 to 2017, use 5W20 synthetic. If you have the 2.0-liter turbo, stick with 5W30 synthetic. The 3.0-liter Eco Diesel requires 5W40 diesel-specific oil. Never use conventional oil in modern Jeeps. The tolerances are too tight. Here's your cost breakdown. Dealership charges $89 to $120. You'll pay $35 to $45 doing it yourself. Buy oil in 5-quart jugs at Walmart or Costco. Mopar filters are $8 to $12. Total time, 20 minutes once you've done it twice. Tire rotation and pressure check. Jeeps eat tires unevenly, especially Wranglers with lift kits or oversized tires. Rotate every 5,000 miles without exception. Check pressure when tires are cold. For stock JL Wranglers, that's 37 psi front and rear. For Gladiators, 35 psi. Dealerships charge $35 to $50. You need a $25 jack, $30 jack stands, and a $15 torque wrench. Cost free after initial tool investment, visual inspection, walk around your Jeep. Look for fluid leaks under the engine and transmission. Check brake pad thickness through the wheel spokes. If you see less than 3 millimeters of pad material, you're due for replacement soon. Inspect CV boot condition on all 4 corners. A torn CV boot costs $15 to replace yourself. An ignored torn boot leads to a $400 CV axle replacement. Every 10,000 miles. Air and cabin filters. Engine air filter. This is dealer profit heaven. They'll charge you $45 to $65 for a $15 filter that takes 90 seconds to replace. Open your hood. Locate the black plastic airbox on the driver's side of the engine. Unclip the 4 spring clips. Lift the lid. Pull out the old filter. Drop in the new one. Close the lid. Clip it shut. Done. For JK Wranglers, 2007 to 2018, use Mopar Part 6, 8079744AA or equivalent. For JLJT models, 2018 plus, use 684819222AA. If you drive in dusty conditions or off-road frequently, check it at 5,000 miles. Cabin air filter. This one's behind your glove box and equally simple. Open the glove box. Squeeze the sides inward to release the stops. Lower the glove box completely. You'll see a rectangular cover. Slide it out. Remove the old filter. Install the new one with the airflow arrow pointing down. Reinstall the cover. Close the glove box. Dealer cost, $55 to $75. Your cost, $12 to $18. Time, 3 minutes. Every 30,000 miles. The big 3. Transmission fluid inspection. This is critical and controversial. Jeep's official position is that transmission fluid in the 8-speed automatic is lifetime fill. That's marketing nonsense. I've personally seen transmission failures at 85,000 to 110,000 miles in Jeeps that never had fluid changed. At 30,000 miles, have the fluid inspected. If it's dark brown or smells burnt, change it immediately. If it's still bright red, you can wait until 60,000 miles. The 8-speed automatic takes 5 to 6 quarts of ZF Lifeguard 8 fluid. Dealerships charge $250 to $350 for this service. Doing it yourself costs $80 to $100 in fluid, but requires a fluid pump and drain pan. If you're not comfortable with this one, pay the dealer. A bad transmission is $4,000 to $6,500 to replace. Proper fluid is cheap insurance. Brake fluid flush. Brake fluid absorbs moisture over time, which lowers boiling point and causes internal corrosion. At 30,000 miles, have it flushed completely. This requires 2 people and a brake bleeder kit, so unless you're experienced, this is one to pay for. Dealerships charge $120 to $180. Independent shops do it for $75 to $100. Use only DOT-4 fluid in Jeeps. Never mix DOT-3 and DOT-4. Spark plugs. The 3.6-liter Pentastar Fixav 6 has 6 spark plugs that should be replaced at 30,000 miles if you use regular unleaded, or 60,000 miles if you always use premium. The 2.0-liter turbo uses premium only and plugs last 60,000 miles. Here's the thing, nobody tells you. Spark plugs are $8 to $15 each. 6 plugs cost $50 to $90. The dealer will charge you $220 to $280 because they quote 2.5 hours of labor, but the actual job takes 45 minutes if you know what you're doing. You'll need a 5/8-inch spark plug socket, a 6-inch extension, and a ratchet. Remove the engine cover. Disconnect the ignition coils one at a time. Pull each old plug. Gap the new plugs to 0.043 inches. Install finger tight, then snug with the ratchet. Don't over-tighten, you'll strip the threads. Reconnect the coils, reinstall the cover. If that sounds intimidating, pay someone. But if you're mechanically inclined, you just saved $170 every 60,000 miles. Fluid replacement services. This is where dealerships make serious money and where you can save the most. Coolant flush. Jeep uses OAT coolant, organic acid technology, which is good for 10 years or 150,000 miles in theory. In practice, I recommend flushing at 60,000 miles, especially if you off-road or tow. Old coolant loses its anti-corrosion additives and can cause radiator and heater core failures. Use only OAT-compatible coolant. Mopar Part 6, 816-3849. AB is pre-diluted and ready to use. You'll need 1.5 to 2 gallons. Dealership flush, $180 to $240. DIY cost, $35 to $50. The process requires draining from the petcock at the bottom of the radiator, flushing with distilled water and refilling. If you're not comfortable bleeding air from the system, have a shop do it. Differential fluid. If you have a Rubicon or any model with locking differentials, this is mandatory at 60,000 miles. The front and rear differentials each hold about 2 quarts of 75W90 gear oil. Use Mopar limited slip additive if you have locking diffs. Dealer cost for both diffs, $280 to $350. Your cost, $60 to $80 in fluid. You'll need a fluid pump, a 3/8-inch ratchet, and a drain pan. Remove the fill plug first to make sure it's not seized. Then remove the drain plug, drain the old fluid, reinstall the drain plug, and pump in new fluid until it runs out of the fill hole. Reinstall the fill plug. Done. Transfer case fluid. Your Jeep's transfer case is what makes it 4-wheel drive. It needs fresh fluid every 60,000 miles. Most transfer cases take 2 to 3 quarts of ATF plus 4 transmission fluid. Yes, transmission fluid in the transfer case. Don't use gear oil unless you have the NV241 case in older models. Dealer cost, $150 to $200. Your cost, $25 to $35. Same process as the differentials. Drain, refill, done. Every 100,000 miles. The long-term preventatives. Serpentine belt and tensioner. The belt drives your alternator, power steering pump, AC compressor, and water pump. Typical lifespan is 80,000 to 120,000 miles. At 100,000, replace the belt and inspect the tensioner. If the tensioner spring feels weak or the pulley has any wobble, replace it too. Belt cost: $25 to $40. Tensioner: $45 to $75. Dealer installation: $180 to $250. DIY time: 30 minutes with the right diagram. There's a 15mm bolt on the tensioner. Rotate it counterclockwise with a breaker bar to release tension. Slide off the old belt. Route the new belt following the diagram under your hood. Release the tensioner. Check tension by pressing the belt. It should deflect about ½ inch. Battery and terminals. Most Jeep batteries last 4 to 6 years. At 100,000 miles, you're likely on your second battery. If it's more than 4 years old, have it load tested. Batteries fail without warning. A new battery costs $120 to $180. Dealer installation adds $40 to $60. You can install it in 5 minutes with a 10mm wrench. Clean the terminals every 100,000, even if the battery is new. Use a wire brush or terminal cleaner. Corrosion increases resistance and can cause starting problems and electrical glitches. The one critical service dealers: Barry. Transmission fluid at 90,000 miles. Here's what I promised earlier. Jeep says the 8-speed automatic transmission fluid is lifetime, but ZF, the company that makes the transmission, recommends changing fluid every 50,000 miles under severe conditions. Guess what Jeep considers severe conditions? Towing, off-roading, frequent stop-and-go traffic, driving in extreme heat or cold. That describes literally every Jeep owner. At 90,000 miles, change your transmission fluid, even if Jeep says you don't need to. I've rebuilt too many 8-speed transmissions that failed at 110,000 to 130,000 miles with original fluid still in them. The fluid was black. The filter was clogged. The valve body was scored. This service costs $300 to $400 at the dealer. It costs $120 to $150 at an independent transmission shop. It will save you $5,000 in transmission replacement. This is the single most important preventative maintenance item that isn't in your owner's manual. If this schedule just saved you from a $2,400 service bill, hit the like button and subscribe, because next week I'm breaking down the 5 modifications that actually void your Jeep warranty, and the 10 that dealers claim void it but legally can't. Share this with every Jeep owner you know. Most of them are overpaying for maintenance because nobody explained what's actually necessary. Keep your Jeep running strong. Keep your money where it belongs, and remember, the best maintenance schedule is the one you actually follow.